Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Podfather, joined by the amazing Godfather of Pakistani mixed martial arts and the favorite son of Pakistani mixed martial arts, training currently in Fairtex, Thailand, and filming out of Fairtex, Thailand. This is incredible, guys. How long has it been since you two have met?
Can you go again? Sorry. This is how long?
How long?
Since you've been?
How long has it been since you both met?
Right now, I got here around 9th of Feb. I think 11th of Feb, and it's been great, man. Almost 3 weeks, and we're pushing every single day, training. Can say 22 sessions a week every week. Already put in almost over 60 sessions in these 3 weeks. It's phenomenal.
Wow. And how long ago was the last time you both met each other under any circumstances?
We both met each other?
I think it was here.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Pre-COVID,
Wow.
Pre-pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
been a little
actually-
tough to get in Thailand.
I'm picking him up from training right now. As you can see, my hands are wrapped and ready to go.
Thank you guys for taking out the time. I won't waste a lot more of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be recapping Grudge Fighting Championship. And the reason we're going to be doing that is because this was one of the first amateur mixed martial arts event. And when I say amateur, I mean like from top to bottom, all of the fights except the main event were amateur fights after the IMF World Championship, meaning jo bhi log is fight card pe lade hain, being amateurs, they had a lot to prove. They had a lot on the line. They had a lot that they wanted to get across. The videos for GFC will be coming out soon, but we're going to be talking about the results. I'm just going to give you all a very quick overview. The big three clubs, as I like to call them, primarily Shaheen, TFF, CAX, they all went on the scoreboard on the night. 2 wins for Shaheen in the night, 3 for CAX and 4 for TFF. But when you look at the head-to-heads, CAX went 2-0 against Shaheen and 1-0 against TFF. But that was overruled to a no contest because of a brawl that occurred right after the fight had ended. Point being, guys, my summary of the entire event is that CAX Fight Club stand up. They really did put on a show. Every single performance wasn't just good or a victory, but it was absolutely one-sided. There was no quarter being given, and what other fight to start with on that note. But the co-main event, Abu Bakar, the Golden Sparrow, taking on the Master, no longer the Little Master, by the way, his nickname's changed, the Master, Abdul Manan. This guy beat Abu Bakar, pillar to post. Absolutely no quarter. Striking department, grappling department, wrestling department, the scrambles, the every single exchange. I feel like Abdul Manan got the win, and he's now kind of displaced Abu Bakar from his spot. Guys, is this a surprise? Is this something which we didn't see coming? Or was this a long time coming?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised. At this point, I think anyone who is going up against a fighter from CAX knows that they are going up against a very hardened and seasoned athlete and who's ready. So no, not surprised. I mean, Abu Bakar is very experienced. Anyone on this scene knows that he's been around for a long time. So Abu Bakar actually messaged me yesterday wanting to talk about his fight. We haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I mean, how did it go? It like he said it was a close fight, but from what I heard, it was not a close fight.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
a close fight. I was the only
watched
one
the
who
fight.
thought so.
Someone did go live on Instagram, and I was watching the fight. And every single attempt that Abu Bakar had, every single time Abu Bakar was shooting his shot, Manan was just shutting it down. You know, he did not let Abu Bakar, do anything. So he dictated the pace. It was Manan controlling the center. He wanted to take him to his corner. He was doing that. He wanted to take him to the other corner. He was doing that. He was every single time Abu Bakar was shooting, he was either getting sprawled on or he was getting denied at by just moving out of the way or just hand on top of the head and pressing him to the ground. And it was complete, like Daniyal said, it was one-sided.
Yeah, and when I say like one-sided, so the judges' scorecards mostly like are good indicators. I think all of them were 30-27 and one of them was a 30-26. If I remember correctly. When the videos come out, you can hear me announce the scorecards more clearly. Point being, I think every single round went to Abdul Manan, and again, like I said, striking department, grappling department, wrestling department, everything in between, like from the trends. So also one thing I've noticed that even Ismail Khan do at the IMAFs, and I've seen Abu Bakar do this now at the IMAFs and do it here as well, which I just want to kind of address. naked takedowns, like absolutely no setup, nothing, just like no jabs, no shots to the body, no level changes, nothing, just like they're gonna wait. Okay, that's 10 seconds, gonna shoot in now, absolutely no setup. And Manan saw those coming miles, days away, like he had sprawled out of them completely. So this is not to say that we're gonna sit here and knock Abu Bakar, the Golden Sparrow. I think he is 10-2 now, one of the most experienced amateurs in the country. It's only interesting to see where his career goes from here in terms of whether he's going to turn
16 years
professional
old,
or not.
so, yeah, I mean, he's 16 years old, so it's really, this is not, we're not talking about where is this person's career going to go now? Like, you know, like kind of in the grand scheme of things, it's probably irrelevant.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not, you know, I mean, a lot of people, like, even at an early age, they could lose confidence, right? But I would say for the most part, it's not something that you can dictate where his future is going to necessarily go.
Yeah, but I feel like some things to address here. Number one, he's still 16, like you said, which is very important. And he still has a long learning curve left for himself to go. Like he still has the ability to. I'm not sure, but I think he's around the same, if not a year younger. But I'll double check on it. Yeah, they're around the same age. But the thing is, 16 is still a time where you can still learn and readjust. But also, Bashir, I want to ask,
I started at 16.
Yeah, there you go. You started at 16.
I started mixed martial arts at 16, so, you know.
Yeah. And this is like actually a really interesting point, right? Is that Uloomi started at 16, and then now, like in this day and age of where Pakistani MMA is, I wouldn't say that's like you started late, but that's normal, right? When at that time it was like, oh, Uloomi's starting very young, like, you know, right?
Yeah.
Because I debuted in one championship when I was 30 years old, right? When I was 30 years old. So like the age brackets of when people are starting and when they're competing, it's getting younger and younger, and it's getting to me where it should be, where like maybe a lot of other sports would be like judo or taekwondo or a lot of these other sports where kids, they get groomed at an early age, and they go through the ranks, and then they get selected, and they go up. It's kind of getting to that point.
Yeah. And the reason we're covering this fight
would be like, well, you just barely made it. Yeah, you just barely made the starting age.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these Dagestani kids are already like tossing people on their heads when they're 6 years old. But yeah, I mean, my point being, the reason we're covering this fight is not because we want to, like you said, discuss the careers of these two guys and whether it's over or they're just starting off. The reason we're covering them is because they're the future of the sport, and we really have a lot of high hopes for both Abdul Manan and Abu Bakar. Abu Bakar is going to be fine. Dude, if you're watching this, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah. But it's really important to like track these things that we're going along, because these are the future stars of our sport. But Abdul Manan, on the other hand, I have big hopes for him. Yeah, go on, Bashir.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't necessarily going to say something, but since you threw it to me, like, you know, even the fact that right now we are discussing their fights, right? Yeah. At this age, at 16, now he even has time to get used to people like critiquing their fights in a public forum, right? Where I think, and because that's important, I think, to get used to that kind of thing, right? Because you could be a professional and you could have things not go your way, and you could listen to the random people on the internet, right? We're the random people on the internet now, right? Talking about their fights, right? And you can let that affect you, or you can be accustomed to it and go on. Like, for example, Islam Makhachev, and he just fought, and before that, like a day before that, he was complaining about his media obligations, and Khabib was like, okay, just lose then these media obligations will go away, right? So it's part of the game. You know, it's part of the game. And if these guys, you know, as they get bigger and bigger and they get more experience and they have these kind of situations come up, then, you know, that's also a part of it that they'll have to face, and handle.
Props to Abdul Manan again for an excellent performance. I think he's definitely a front runner now for IMF, for the Team Pakistan moving forward. We're going to have an entire tournament to decide who goes this time. But at the same time, I think those favorites are starting to prove themselves. Another guy who positioned himself as a favorite, and Uloomi, I want to toss this to you right now. In the co-main event of GFC 1, we had Sajad Ali, the Fortress, taking on Hussain Khan, the Salahuddin. It was TFF versus Pakido. Sajad Ali.
Just a
Go for
minute.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
We're just like looking over in the
Excuse
corner.
me.
Someone's gonna turn a vacuum on, and we're like, no, don't do it.
From
10 นาทีนะครับ10 นาที
I love it. Thank you to the vacuum lady or the guy who was about to. Thank you for not turning the vacuum on. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the co-main event of GFC 1. In particular, I wanted to talk about your teammate back in Team Fight Fortress, Sajad Ali, the Fortress himself, who took on Team Pakido's Hussain Khan, who calls himself the Salahuddin. It was a co-main event for the ages. I think it was a very technical fight, very good back and forth. Sajad showed me excellent striking. He showed me excellent grappling. He showed me excellent wrestling. Very well-rounded performance. He did lose around, I believe, in the start or in between, but either way, came back from it so strong and ended the fight really strong. Uloomi, what do you know and what do we not know about Sajad Ali moving forward?
First off, I want to talk about Sajad's grit, as you know, because everyday life, when you're in Pakistan, when you talk about being a fighter, people, you know, a lot of the athletes want an easy life. They want, okay, I want to wake up in the morning, train, go back home, sleep, wake up, train, and live the routine that a lot of the professional fighters live. But to get to that point, you have to make sure that you pay your dues. You have to make a lot of sacrifice, and he is going through those sacrifices without any complaints. He has the attitude, he has the correct attitude, the correct mindset, and the correct work ethic. Because the guy is studying in a university, he has a side job, and then he's working at the gym as well, and he's training at the same time. So the guy is hustling 24/7. You know, and whenever I've seen him train, I've never, like, even in the gym, he's either helping someone out, or he is doing something, he's drilling something, he's asking the coach about something, and he's watching the fight and he's trying to learn from it. So he's always on the learning curve. And I you know, last time I saw him train was with Zia Mashwani and with Ayub and with Futoshi, and you know, all the guys. Those guys were training together, and he was the one who would, you know how tough Zia is, how strong he is, and how good his wrestling is. And he was the one who was like, I want to wrestle with Zia, I want to wrestle with Zia. And he wanted to, you know, where everyone was like, no, Zia goes a little too hard on wrestling. He was the one who was, you know, coming up, and he wanted to wrestle with Zia, and he wanted to train. So he did show a lot of commitment at that point as well. And I'm so happy to see that the way the fight went. I watched very little footage of the fight, and that was exactly how he trains. That is exactly, his confidence did not go down. Even when he sparred with me, he has that thing where, you know, in the beginning he used to think that, oh, I'm sparring with Coach Uloomi, and then after like 2-3 punches to the face, he forgets that who he's sparring with, and then he just gets in the zone and, you know, just pulling his shorts up again and again, you know, pulling his shorts inwards and just keeping his hands nice and high and just moving his head and being very keen and observing everything his opponent or his training partner does. And that is exactly what I saw in his fight. It wasn't something that I was surprised of. That it is exactly what he does at the gym. It is exactly what he practices, and that is exactly how that guy trains.
Yeah, and I think he called his shot. I interviewed him in the ring right after. He called his shot. He said, listen, he pointed right at Umer Ahmed. He said, I'm coming. You know what I mean? He said, this is my time. This is my shot. And really, I don't see a lot of guys at bantamweight, I could be wrong, who, well, of course, there's a lot of guys at bantamweight, amateur. But you know what I mean? He's clearly established himself as one of the front runners. Let's see who else like I said, who else makes a statement and puts himself out there the same way this guy did. I think this is exactly what we need right now, more often PakMMA, because this is what breeds that healthy competition. So Sajad Ali, excellent performance. When their video comes out, please go watch that fight. That fight is undoubtedly one of the best amateur fights I've seen in Pakistan, in the sense that it was so back and forth. It was so competitive. Both the guys got so much good offense in, but it wasn't a good night for Pakido, Gujjar Khan, and that's why I want to transition from the co-main event, which Pakido had a losing effort, all the way to the main event, where Rizwan Ali took on Nasratullah Nikzad from Afghanistan. And ladies and gentlemen, this fight ended via bleeding dicks. I just want to say that right now. And when I say bleeding dicks, no, hear me out.
Blood? Oh, okay.
So basically, the fight starts. The Afghani guy, you know what I mean, just starts, and he gets Rizwan with a very nice left hook right straight. And then right after that, they start the wrestling exchanges. The Afghan starts putting in the pressure. Nasratullah Nikzad, I shouldn't call him the Afghan, but Nasratullah Nikzad starts putting in the pressure. Rizwan starts getting him back, put a really nice right straight in his face, got him with a really nice head kick as well. Nasratullah Nikzad was then trying to grapple, almost panic wrestle, and Rizwan got him with 2 knees to what I saw were the body. I could be wrong. We'll find out for sure once the replays come back. But he hit him with 2 body knees, which he claimed were low blows. Nasratullah Nikzad went down screaming, said, I can't do this. He took his full 5 minutes, still did not resume the fight. And then afterwards, he claimed that there's blood coming out of his penis, right? Bleeding dicks. So we said, okay, we're going to let the doctor take a look at this. He said, no doctor's going to take a look at my badonkadonk or, whatever.
Yeah,
my junk. Sorry, not his badonkadonk. But yeah, nobody's going to look at his junk. We said, okay, here's a towel. Put the towel in your whatever. It might help stop the bleeding. Just show us there's blood and we'll call the fight. No, I'm not going to do that either. Okay, sure, no problem. We're going to rule this a no contest. We ruled it a no contest. Rizwan was pissed, but we ruled it a no contest. And we said the ambulance is outside. You better get your homeboy with his bleeding penis all the way to the hospital. And his coach said, no, we're going to let him die here, but we're going to take the win before we leave Brave Gym tonight. Literally, he said, my fighter could fucking die here, but we're going to get his hand raised and put a belt around him. Dude, I don't want to stereotype, but this isn't the first time people in Afghanistan have come to a Pakistani MMA event and have done this kind of bullshit where they've just wanted some kind of a win as opposed to the safety of their own fighter. Literally, they're like, hum mar jayega, lekin hum win leke jayega. What the fuck is this? What is this, dude? Like, it was absolutely crazy. And then afterwards, Rizwan said, I'm still here. If you want to restart the fight, I can still fight. The dude eventually got up. The dude said, raise my hand. We said no. They raised his hand themselves, like they made their own little coronation and recorded it. And then afterwards, they had Nasratullah Nikzad on somebody's shoulders, parading him around the ring as if his penis wasn't bleeding 10 minutes ago. And the ambulances had gone back. And they were like, we don't want to send him in. What the hell is this? So clearly this guy wasn't hurt. Clearly he was just, or else he'd go to the hospital, right? Because his penis is bleeding. That's what happened in the main event of GFC 1, ladies and gentlemen. Your thoughts, guys. Go for it.
Well, I mean, my question is what round did this happen in?
First round.
Oh, so there wasn't even a fight then, really?
Yeah, just like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I think it was just like what happened with Shao San and the other guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, but in that case, Shao was taken to the hospital. He
had swollen testicles, right?
And he did bleed out of his penis. Yeah. And when he went to pee, he sat down, and I mean, it was, I think, I and Fuzzle with him, and we took him to the bathroom and from the fight event at the venue, in fact. And he went to the bathroom, he started peeing, and we saw blood, bro. We did see blood. And he was like, oh, fuck. And he was in so much pain. He was in so much pain that we had to take him to the hospital. And he was there for one good day and night. So he spent a day in the hospital. And so I can say that I cannot say that I know or I see how it is when someone gets hit in the, nuts. But I've seen how one reacts. And from what you're telling us, it could be anything, I don't know. Maybe...
Dude, Uloomi, dude, they put him on someone. That means his crotch was in contact with someone's shoulder area, and he was being paraded around the ring with his hands up like 20 minutes after. All right, you can't say that this was a real nut shot, or that dude would be stretchered out ASAP, and they'd be saying, "Fuck the win." He has a long career ahead of him. This was just some bullshit. They were trying to snatch the belt from Kainat. This is crap, dude. They were like, no, hum belt leke jayega. What the fuck is going on? So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the main event GFC. The video is going to come out for sure. I know this isn't the first time something like this happened. My brothers from Afghanistan, if you're listening, please listen. The win does not matter as much as your dignity. And what happened that day, they just lost their own dignity. Honestly speaking, they were arguing with us. They were fucking trying to just trying to get a win. That's all this was. They were just trying to get a win. They didn't care about the fighter's safety. They didn't care about the event's reputation. They didn't care about their own reputation. They just wanted the win. And they didn't get the win, and they went home unhappy. So, you know what I mean? This is not cool. I don't like that. I guess somebody's going on some kind of a blacklist.
I've seen that happen few times in Pakistan where, like, for example, if someone's opponent doesn't show up, the other side will make a fuss that nahi, humne ring mein khade hoke usko haath khana hai. It's like, but why is that important? You didn't even fight. Why do you need to go and like haath khana? You know, it's so I've seen that kind of stuff before. I mean, I guess this is maybe just part of the culture.
Yeah.
Can I say?
No, somebody from Afghanistan did come up to me and they said, no. They actually said, ये हमारे खून में है, हम मर जाएगा, लेकिन हम win लेके जाएगा. I was like, this is not something to be happy about, man. I was like, this isn't something to be proud. Using something you should market or advertise. Anyway, that was about all the time I'm going to spend on the Afghans. We have crossed the 20-minute mark, but that was the main event of GFC. Another very good performance. I want to shout her out right now. Bano Butt from UMMA. I don't know if you guys know about her. Bano Butt put on an absolute clinic, first round armbar. Her opponent was a boxing veteran, a boxing champion of the PBC atomweight division. But Bano Butt, very smart MMA technique, took her down, took the arm, tapped her out, brutal armbar. Bano Butt's an atomweight, and I think she has a long way to go, especially since she's still an amateur. So, you know what I mean? Bano Butt has been on the scene. She's been really impressive. Her jiu-jitsu is excellent. I really do think she has a good ways to go. And upset on the night, also, Team Underground Wolves have made their first stamp on the scene when Saad Lodi, I believe is his name. Yeah, Saad Lodi from Underground Wolves, Rawalpindi, beat the Spider Abdul Manan from Team Shaheen in a convincing, I would say, fashion. Split decision, but a lot of people did see that fight going Saad Lodi's way, but at the same time, split decision. You can watch the fight when it comes out and decide for yourself. But Team Underground Wolves, props to them. They made a statement. Yeah, Bashir.
Well, I saw like half the fight, and then I have an app blocker on my Instagram, so I can't view Instagram more than 20 minutes a day. And fight cut out, so I wasn't able to see who won. But up until I saw the first 2 rounds. It was pretty back and forth. It was a very close fight from what I saw. Yeah. So I didn't know who ended up winning. I didn't know who the other was from. So from Team Underground Wolves, that's cool. You know, when you have like these gyms that are not really, you know, kind of the main gyms of Pakistan put out like quality talent, it's very hopeful to see that for Pakistan's MMA future.
Yeah. I'm just going to wrap up the GFC discussion. Then I got 2 things that I want to talk to you guys about really quick. But before
I think Uloomi wants to go train.
Okay.
I can sense the... I need to go train. I can sense the anxiety and the itchiness coming from it. So.
We're going to wrap up in another 5 to 7 minutes. The next 2 are going to be really quick. But just to wrap GFC up for all of the fighters who are watching, I know all of you wanted up. Uneeb Judd got an excellent KO on the night representing Shaheen Academy. Amir Khan representing Cax Fight Club had a very impressive standing guillotine over Asad Sabur Hussain. Abrar Saki Hussain from TFF put on an absolute shutout performance against his opponent from WFC. Dawood Atif from Team Shaheen returned after 3 years and looked like he did not miss a beat when he got a win over his opponent from Synergy. Synergy is still a thing, Bashir. Shahab Ali Ridi got a win over his opponent from Team Shaheen via DQ due to a soccer kick to the face from Yasser Ali. Good job there. Samiullah Khan also got a win over Ubaid Rahman. Leli Hussaini beat Kainat Naeem Aqib in probably one of the biggest upsets of the night. Very impressive by her. Bano already talked about her. Shehbaz Gorsi also got a DQ win over Muhammad Hadi from WFC. Saad Lodi we just talked about. We talked about Abdul Manan, and every other fight is the co-main event and the main event. That is GFC. Now, boys, really quickly. Amir King Khan made his boxing return against Kell Brooks. The real reason we're talking about him is he's Pakistani, kinda. How did you guys feel about that when you saw it? And do you think King Khan deserves to or should be in the ring moving forward?
Yeah, I think it was sad and upsetting for me because I first watched his fight against Dimitri Salita and the way I became his fan. I mean, I became a huge fan of Amir Khan because of his speed and everything. And watching him go down like that, but man, he did show heart. He did show a lot of heart. He looked in great shape. It looked like he had evolved over the period of time. But then again, he was very inactive. He's been inactive for quite a long time, and that is exactly what you expect. And of course, you know, he needs to go back to his family, and he needed I think he needed this retirement fight. Well, all best wishes to him. But I think this was it for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think Amir Khan had quite a career behind him. But I mean, look, he has a place in boxing as a promoter, as a personality, all of that. He has a place in Pakistani boxing, and I really wish that he would look towards that as well and do that a little more regularly. But like, it's really tough, especially as a non-fighter, to say that this is time to hang it up or whatever. You can never really do that. But that was a little uncomfortable to watch. Yeah, I'll say that. Like, I think he still has a lot to give back in terms of everything. Bashir, you once challenged Amir Khan to a fight.
Yeah.
How did you feel after that?
I saw the highlights of the fight, and then I saw his interview in the locker room afterwards. And all I can say is, what a classy guy, honestly. Like, the way that he discussed the breakdown and like his thoughts at the time. No excuses, really classy guy. You could sense the heartache, obviously. And so I really felt for him. And I mean, whether he wants to compete or not, I think that's up to him. I personally, if he wants to go out on a win, I can understand that. But he's made a lot of money. He doesn't have to worry about that forever.
Yeah.
Neither for himself and probably not for his children or his grandchildren.
Yeah.
So I mean, that choice is his. He's got an Olympic medal, right?
Yeah.
He's got multiple titles in boxing. He has nothing to be ashamed of in his career. He's got like accolades that he can be proud of for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So I think knowing that that may have been his retirement fight, regardless of the challenge and all that, I really wish that he had won it. I'd like to see him. I'm not like a huge boxing fan, so I can't like, it would be disingenuous of me to say that I'm an Amir Khan fan, but as a Pakistani in combat sports who brought a limelight to combat sports and made people respect Pakistanis as combat sportsmen, my respect goes out to him. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like he really did do a lot, especially for boxing in Pakistan. And even recently, like, he's been working with the likes of Usman Wazir, Asif Ali Hazar, like all these guys who've been in Dubai. He's promoting them in a way that Usman's getting the WBC Middle Eastern title shot, and Asif got the Asian boxing championship. My point being, it's really good, and I'm really glad that he is started putting on that promoter hat. Again, it was tough to watch. It was hard to watch. Kell Brooks, I think, did an excellent job. But at the same time, I completely agree with your sentiments. And that is the perfect Pakistani approach to look at it. Be nice to Amir Khan and be nice to Malala Yousafzai. Why do people hate her? And don't be nice to Khalilur Rahman Qamar. Fuck that guy. What?
Yeah, we'll talk about Malala one time. I don't understand the hate. I don't understand the hate.
Same.
It's ridiculous.
If you want to direct hate, there's this guy called Khalilur Rahman Qamar who writes all the fucking dramas you see on your TV that has fucking poisoned our society. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Malala's great. Amir Khan's great. All these expatriates are great. Guys, I won't keep you. I know you're itching to go ahead and kick some shit and punch some shit. So without any further ado.
Before we go, this is a tradition. Here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh.
Homemade cookies.
You're so sweet. Show the camera.
Yeah.
Show the camera.
Show them to the camera.
Flip him. Yeah, no, you can't see him that way. Yeah, there we go. You baked these yourself, Bashir?
No, my wife did. Actually, Uloomi was supposed to fight in SFL 2, Super Fight League 2. And in India, and he came over. He stayed at our place. I was newly married, right, living in Lahore, and he stayed at our place for I don't know how long to train with. Yeah, for 2 weeks.
1 week.
Oh yeah, with Bakar. Him and Bakar were supposed to compete. So Sadi likes to bake, so he had the cookies. He really liked the cookies, and so pretty often whenever I see him, we'll make sure to.
It's been almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Whenever I meet Bashir, don't meet me without the cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet, guys. And Uloomi, do tell us how the cookies are. Bashir, you're an absolute gentleman. Thank you guys for the time again. And I'm so sorry for taking up some time from your training schedules. And thank you for joining us all the way from beautiful Fairtex, Pattaya. That really does mean a lot to me, guys.
All right.
Yep. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, thank you, Bashir. Thank you, Uloomi. This has been the Podfather. That is the Godfather. That is Pakistan's favorite fighting son, Uloomi Karim Shaheen. And we will see you very soon. And from us, please keep it tight. Goodbye. Take care.